Hello, can everyone hear me? Sorry about the lighting, it's a bit naff. We're a bit early, but seems to be quite a few people in the chat. So can you hear me all right? Hello? Hello, hello, hello. I hope it hasn't stuffed up the sound. It always stuffs up the sound. Hi. Hi, Carl. Brian. Can everyone hear me all right? See, this is not... You can hear me. Actually, wow, the sound worked. Woohoo! Good, just checking. For some reason, I go live and it defaults to a different, doesn't use this. It uses some other rubbish sound thing and I have to kick everyone off. So it's good it actually worked from the off and I didn't just kick off however many of you there are. We're a bit early, but a lot of people seem to be jumping in. So I thought, hey, we'll just sort of wait for a few people to come in. Rebecca has a chair tonight. You'll be most impressed. She's not sitting on the floor. Yeah, sorry, it's still a bit makeshift because the studio is not up to, there's no lighting in here. So I'm kind of using this weird kind of setup, but it will do for now. Dark and moody. It's just because I've moved all my computer equipment up here, but I'm still using all the lighting in the studio for the filming. I'm waiting to order some more equipment to do the center island, but there's a part missing. So I'm waiting for that part to come into stock before I order it all. So it's kind of ground to a bit of a halt at the moment. And then I've just dragged up one of the lights from the studio, but hopefully it will improve. The plan for the live streams is to actually hook up my DSLR to a computer so that I can use the same quality for footage of that as this. But my poor little Mac is not really up for it. So we're kind of makeshifting it at the moment. But these are great fun. We're going to do something very different today. We're basically just going to go straight from you guys wanting to talk about topics instead of sending it to me before. So we'll see how it goes. Right. One thing I just saw someone mention, they wanted to talk about the Tamiya quad track. Yeah, I saw the video came out today. Oh my God. Did you see how many links? Yeah, I don't know. Two problems with that. I don't know what you guys think. Insanely expensive. You do get a motor, so I'll give them that. But it's a TTO2B. I just can't get past it. I just can't. I don't know why it's spending that much money and getting. Why isn't it on a CCO2? Now that would have been a bit more of a, I would have been much more interested in that. But it's expensive, isn't it? What do you guys think? Getting one? I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing what the review on it is because I get the feeling it won't perform as well as like getting a TRX4 with the tracks. So I don't know. I think it's a good gimmick. I think it's kind of oddball enough to have in a collection, but I don't know. It's a lot of money. So I think I'll hold off getting one in for a review until I've seen a review because they want a lot for a TTO2B. Hi, Stans RC. Rebecca's in now. RC Explorer, hello. Paul, hi. Sven, hi. Mateus, Ben, Lee, James, hello everyone. Adrian, Gary, Brian, Paul. How is everybody? Right, we need some good topics to talk about. What can we talk about? I've just spent the day messing around with my Mardave 50. Just painted it up and cut all the windows out and all that kind of stuff. So that video will be coming maybe tomorrow night. We'll see. It depends how it goes. But I'm having great fun with it. It's a tiny little thing. It's downstairs drying at the moment. Have you tried the Tamiya trikes? Oh, what the leaning ones? I forget what they're called. What are they called? Those leaning trikes, Julian? Yes, I did see one. Glenn at Tamiya Legends, he's got one, but he hasn't actually put them out yet. So I was interested to see that. They're quite reasonable. So I did think about getting one. And his video, if I remember rightly, did really well. So I think a lot of you want to see them. And they're quite entry-level price-wise. So, yeah, maybe we'll get one on the channel for a bit of fun. What glue do you use to stick the tires to the rims? I've got some stuff that I was sent from L&L Models. I can't remember. I think it's his own stuff. I use that, but I pretty much use anything I can, really. Yeah, I'm not very good at gluing tires. I need to get one of those machines that help you. Usually I just get it everywhere, stick my fingers to it, get it on the tires, and then just generally make a right mess of it. But I mean, I don't do a lot of racing, so I only do that to the cars that are a bit hotter and the tires fly off. But a lot of the times I don't actually glue up my tires if I'm running in around the garden and stuff like that, because they're just not running that much power. But yeah, I make a right mess. What else have we got? Carl, I bought the TT02R over the winter, replaced my TT01R after years of racing. I'm very impressed with the TT02R and qualified first. Well done, you. Nice one. I'll probably try and do some racing. There's a track not far from us. I have never really done it since I was back in the day doing the grasshopper. So I might take the camera down there if I can join. And then I'll show you some how not to do it. From that point of view, I know quite a few people are intimidated by it, you know, going down there and the vision of going in there, and then there's all the people with all the gear, you know, really, really good, and you're like, I just want to run this, you know. So I'll try and get some of that side of it, because I am no expert at all, but I don't really care if people think I'm an idiot, because you know, well, there you go. Fruity Fly 01. Hi, Gavin. How are you? Still no news on the Riri Falcon. Haven't had any updates at all. Now, in the last video I did from the news, that Tamiya do it in blocks when they do their news. And we're coming up to the next round of that next month. Remember what it was? At the toy show. So we should get some next batch of cars. Now, I would say with more confidence, we're going to hear it in that. But the rumors that I've heard, well, what I've been told is that it's going to be real late in the year. So the news is coming out late in the year, and it's coming out right at the end of the year. But that's all I've had. I've had no more news on it whatsoever. So I'll be really chuffed if we see it in this next round, which I think is next month. But I was told much later. I was told that right at the beginning when I mentioned it, that it was coming right at the end of the year. So we'll see. We'll see. The Inspire 4 looks very interesting, although a little bouncy on the track. The one that was on the track was 3D printed version. So just take that as just a little bit of footage. It's nothing like what the car will be, because I talked about that as well. And that was just to get some running footage and some early sort of experience. If you actually go to their website or their Facebook page, I forget where it is, there's actually some videos of the rear suspension working. And the way it works is that the shocks are laid down, but it's not the left side is the same side. It actually crosses over. So when the wheel goes up on one side, it's the other shock that compresses. It looks really good. I recommend going and checking that out. My concerns from my side are, what's it like over jumps? That's the big one. But the Carl, I think his name, I forget, is the person that actually designed it. He has loads of experience as a racer and everything. So he's got the pedigree to back it up. And obviously he did development for the part development driving for 10th Technology and Extreme on the X10 and X11. So he knows what he's talking about, because a lot of the old Predators, they did suffer from, they couldn't do the big jumps that we now get. So obviously that's going to be something that's going to be on his mind, the car that he's producing. But I take my hat off to anyone who is pushing boundaries and trying to make something happen. You know, it's fantastic to see someone trying something different. It's very easy to just do the same as somebody else. But so I'm really keen on it. I really like it because it's different. You know, it's got no towers. Everything is down low, which has got to be great for the center of gravity. Now, I know there's a few cars that have been made now, not 3D printed, but actually made. So there'll be a lot more testing going on. So I really hope we see it. Hopefully I'll get one on the show to show you. I'm definitely going to buy one if I can get my hands on it. So I'll probably get hold of one of the first production ones. The ones you've seen are all white, but that's just because they're pre-production. They will be black. So I've been told. But yeah, really like it. Really, really good. Also, there's some video of getting into the diff. So getting into the diffs is like 4 screws and like 2 minutes, because there's no towers and stuff like that in the way. You can get straight in it, which I think for the racers, they're going to love it. So it has some real out of the box thinking, which I think is really good. So yeah, fingers crossed it actually happens. I don't know how many of you guys realize just how difficult it is to produce a kit, how expensive it is. So if you see people trying to do stuff like that, you've got to take your hats off to them. And hopefully we will get to see one, and hopefully the reviews come back. From my side, I can't give a driver's review as a racer. I don't have those skills, but to get it on the show and show it and get the brand out there, especially for smaller companies, is something that I love doing. Why is Rebecca off camera? Because she's better looking than me. Come closer.
Really want to be on
Sorry, we got this thing in the middle. There we go. Shall we move it out of the way? There we go. My beautiful assistant. So there you go. Do you want me to just go? I could go and you can talk to her about RC if you want. That's her car. Look, it's over there. Look, it needs to come back on the show. I did a bit more to the body. Oh my God. If you buy one of those, painting them, that is a hard paint job. It looks easy. It's really a difficult paint job. There's a carbon fiber chassis to go on that. So it will be on the show. Rebecca will put the carbon chassis on it, and then we'll wrap that up. Yeah, sorry that the projects kind of come in and then they get finished, or some of them sort of slip under the radar for a little bit. That's because I'm human, and I see something and I go, oh, that's more exciting. And then the things I kind of drift under, and then I have to go back and finish them because I'm not allowed to not finish them. So
and you put off the painting.
And I put off the painting because I've got so much painting to do and the weather's awful. The Formula One cars from Schumacher, the FP1 from Mardave, and the Icon, they'll be back. I've got a few other bits and pieces going on. I need to paint up the bodies on them, and I'm going to put new Hobby Wing censored motors in them, and then use those sensorless motors in something else. But they are coming back on the show, as well as wrapping up the Sand Scorcher for Rebecca. Hi, Gary. What else have we got? Thanks, Gary. Yes, it is fascinating, and I have no doubt it's going to be awesome. Ah, look who we've got. We've got official Team Mardave in the house, playing with your 50th anniversary, having loads of fun. It's so dinky. I highly recommend checking them out. They're really, really good, the little tiny mini ones, and I'm really getting into it. It's great fun, especially with all that carbon. What else we've got? So Rupert says, are you now a full convert to the wet spray sticker technique? Definitely try it. Definitely, I recommend it. Brilliant for big flat surfaces. You get those stickers that you put on bonnets, and they've got to be perfectly aligned, because as you look down the whole car, they're all wonky, and you've got to get the right XY, but also you've got to get the rotation. Brilliant for those. Also, it kills all air bubbles. So I'm a big fan of that. There is a limitation to it, like I said in the video. When you go round, use a hairdryer more. That's where you get a bit of a limitation, but big fan. So, and you can do it so much faster. It's so much quicker, and you never have to like pull off them, because as you pull off some of the decals, you actually stretch them, and that kind of messes with them a bit. So yeah, big fan. I will mess around with some more liquids. I was using some washing up liquid, which was just randomly poured into a bottle. You can get proper stuff for doing like vinyl wraps and stuff. So I may try a couple of those and see whether they give you a better kind of, and then you just leave it. Once it's settled, the next day, they're all stuck. Lovely. Oh, there's loads. Hey, Jenny, how you doing? Gareth, hi. Brian, hi. Michael, Philip. What else can we talk about?
F1 cars in the back garden track.
Yeah, on the grass. Yeah, the grass might be a bit long. If the gardener did a better job of grass, maybe get a bit more bowling green, that would be a better way to go. Where is the Evo? Evo's not down. All the cars you see in the background here are my overspill cars. That sounds terrible, doesn't it? The cars you see in the background are the cars that are not in the studio. They were relegated up here, but since I'm now building this studio, I've just put these cars on. These all belong on a rack, and then all the cars you see on the back wall and the core wall will go up onto here, and each one of these will be lit individually, and these will be all the special, like all the fancy cars. Yeah, I almost bid on a RC10 World car, but I was outbid the other day, so maybe that was a good thing. It was getting a bit expensive. Hello from Indonesia. Just built Tamiya Super Clod Buster. Super Clod Busters are excellent. When I got the one on the show, that if you haven't seen the video, go check it out because I do loads of mods to it. I was not a big fan. I got it on the show just for fun, just to put some monster truck stuff into the mix of the channel, and you guys loved it, absolutely loved it, which is why I ended up getting the Agrius in as well. Also, what you really liked was when I modded it and put a chassis, a carbon chassis on it from the Clod shop. They do a full hardcore racing carbon chassis. Unfortunately, this sold out of it because I really wanted to, because it was such a popular video, I wanted to upgrade to that one to show you like a balls to the wall kind of racing chassis for the Clod, but unfortunately he hasn't got any left. So maybe at some point, if he gets another one in, I'll do a video of fitting that to it. The only thing I've done since you've last seen the Clod is I put the spaces that he did to make the wheels even wider. So it totally clears the body and it looks amazing. I'll probably do some jumps and then take them out again. The only difference I've done is on the Agrius, it now has Clod wheels and tires, which it should have had in the first place, Tamiya. It looks much better. But you can't just get Clod wheels and tires and bolt them onto the Agrius, which is a TXT1, is it? I forget. I can't remember. You have to change the drive shafts, or you need to get the adapters, which can be a bit of a pain because the actual mounting hub is different. I don't know why it made it different, but yeah, it's not as easy as you think just to take Clod wheels and shove them on an Agrius. Oh, X-Ray 2, Chris. Yeah, I've got some bad news about the X-Ray 2. And you can blame Brexit for it. I was going to do an X-Ray 2 buggy with sponsorship with Euro RC. But unfortunately now I have to cover the import tax, the shipping, the handling fee. And once you put that into it, it doesn't really work, unfortunately, in the UK, which is a real shame. So I talked to Euro RC and they really wanted to try and make it work. But from what their side and then my side, it doesn't really work because of the amount of cost, because I have to pay the 20% import on it and things like this, as well as the shipping and handling fees. And then what they want in return for their investment, it just doesn't work. So unfortunately, I think we're not going to see any more Euro RC sponsorships, really, which is a real shame. Maybe there'll be a way around it, or there'll be some sort of renegotiation of something like that. But it's a real shame because they are so nice to work with. They are so easy to work with. They tell you exactly what they want, what they'll give you, and you know exactly where you're at, and they're easy. And then so yeah, lovely to work with. I've worked with other people that are just a real challenge, and whereas they're so much easier to work with and communicate with. So unfortunately, it looks like we won't get it, but that doesn't mean we won't see one of those manufacturing cars. The one I'd like to get is the 4-wheel drive buggy version. But, they're a little bit expensive. But I will add one to the channel for sure. But that was my first opportunity to get an X-Ray in. So there we go.
Does Gav go on like this off camera, Rebecca? Yes, he does.
Now, I wish I could say, I don't know if you heard that, but Rebecca said, someone commented, does Gav rant on like this?
David, it was.
David, does Gavin rant on like this in real life? Yes, is her response. We work really well because Rebecca is the quiet one and I'm the one who just rambles on for hours and hours. Yeah, Rebecca used to be a teacher, so she understands working with young children. So that's why we kind of get on, and that's why, it works.
Did your RC not launch a UK shop recently? don't think they have they?
Yes, they did. Yeah, well, they've done. Yeah, EuroRC did a like a side to their website, and you can buy it, but you still have to pay the import and all this kind of stuff. The main sticking point from my side wasn't that I was going to have to cover that side of it. It was just that they have a budget per video, and that's what they require. But obviously that was before, so the challenge was, it's like, okay, well, for my side, I'll fund X amount, but then that means that the amount of videos changes, so it really changes the whole discussion. So we tried to come up with some other ideas, and basically I left it with them to see what they could come up with. So unfortunately it doesn't kind of work, unfortunately, especially when you start going for the more, like I could do a review for like a battery, because then the cost implications are very low. It wouldn't make any difference. But once you start getting bigger sponsorships, where you're like, a £400 car, then you're looking at a lot of import tax, handling fees and stuff like that. So it does have a real sort of change to the dynamic, but hopefully this will be something that will get sorted out. But then obviously for EuroRC, dealing with the UK, they could easily do with a YouTuber from another country which doesn't have the same kind of limitations and issues. So the problem is not EuroRC, it's just life, and that's how it works. So there we go.
Rob says, when will the new studio be finished? Can't wait to see it.
Yeah,
it's getting there, isn't it?
It's getting there. IKEA is the problem at the moment. I'm about to place an order for the center desks, which I'm going to get from IKEA. This is not sponsored by IKEA, but it should be, because there's a lot of their stuff in here. And I seem to be giving a lot of money to IKEA at the moment. And I need a wardrobe to go here so it all matches, but for storage. But they're out of stock, and they charge quite a bit of money to deliver. So I've got to get it all at one go. Otherwise, I'm spending £100 and then a £40 to deliver that £100 thing. So I'm kind of waiting and checking every day. As soon as that happens, we're good to go. As for the wall at the back here, that's about a day's work to basically block that in, and then put the graphics up and stuff like that. So that'll be coming soon. Ideally as soon as possible, but things drag on. Obviously, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I'm trying to put out a video every 2 days, which is a big ask, 2 to 3 days, just to keep the momentum going. It's very quiet at the moment, unfortunately. I don't know if other people have noticed it, but RC seems to be very quiet. So there you go. Hopefully it will pick up, because the last 2 months have been the best 2 months the channel's ever had. And then we've gone from like crazy high to very quiet. Parts of his Tamiya TCO1. Do you have any? I talked with a guy in the Netherlands who can't find parts for his Tamiya TCO1. Do you have any ideas? I always say the same sort of things. If you can't see it on eBay, go to the forums and just ask. Find the best Facebook forum for the TCO1. Go in there and ask. You'll be amazed at what some people have got floating around. I think we've all got boxes of bits and pieces that are left over for us, but are worth. It happened to me with the Dynastorm that you can see here. This Dynastorm, my God, it's never been driven. And it's never been painted yet or anything like that. It's brand new, but it was missing the electronic speed controller metal plate. And then I realized it didn't come with the metal plate. So I thought, where am I going to get a Dynastorm, never been re-released, vintage electronic speed controller plate? So I went to the Facebook and I said, look, I know this is a long shot, but has anyone got one of these? I've got money waiting. 2 minutes later, I think I've those in one of my boxes. I'll have a look. So yeah, I highly recommend it. From that point of view,
you've got a couple of people asking about the Juggernaut. When are you going to finish it?
Yeah, about the Juggernaut. It's still in a box in lots of pieces. Yes. Time. Realistically, probably another couple of months. Yeah, it took me a while to dismantle. The Juggernaut is a fiddly little thing. Well, it's not little, but yeah, I will put it back on the channel and finish it because it's quite rare, and B, a lot of people you do want to see it. I've got all the parts to fully restore it now. The only thing I'm kind of umming and ahhing about is I've got a new body set for it, but it's not from the Juggernaut. It's the one that comes from the Hilux. So it has slight changes to it. So I probably will just go with it, as I don't think I'm ever going to find a new body. I could try and restore the old one, but everything else is all perfect. So it's just waiting to go. I've done quite a few builds over the last week or so. We did the XV01. If you haven't seen it, go check that out. That car, oh, it's up there. Fantastic chassis. Big fan of the XV01 chassis, and there will be a driving video from it, a proper driving video, even though I crashed it. I don't know if you noticed in the video, the driving bit, I actually crashed it into a wall after I fixed it, finished it. Love the chassis, really, really like it. The body is brilliant, but oh my God. Any of you guys collect just rally cars? I take my hat off to anybody who collects rally cars, because the bodies are 2 to 3 days of work. I mean, obviously I'm filming at the same time, so it slows me down, but oh my God.
Who does your video editing?
Tony, who does your video editing? Well, I have many staff at RCKicks. It's this dashingly good-looking guy who does it, and that'll be me. So I spend my life doing two things: one, filming; two, editing. I kid you not, editing takes up most of my time, sitting here editing videos, and I'm very limited on the software I'm using. I use iMovie to do my editing because I don't have enough horsepower in my Mac Mini to really run any of the more advanced editing software. So I'm banging against the limitations of the software. But this year I plan to replace the Mac Mini with the new M1 that's just come out. Hopefully that will give me a chance to do a few things. One, upgrade my software to do better editing for you. And two, just going to move up to 4K, because everything else I have now is 4K. Panasonic Lumix camera's 4K, GoPro is 4K. So hopefully I can do a bit of both.
Scott says you should teach the kids to edit the videos.
Teach the kids. If I made it into a PlayStation game, I could probably get my son Corbin to edit for about 30 hours a day. That's how much he spends on his PlayStation.
You've had a few people asking about Traxxas.
Yeah.
Planning on getting any more Traxxas cars? A few people asking about that.
Traxxas, yeah. Would love a X-Max. Really want an X-Max. Yeah, I'd love to get one, but they're so expensive. I definitely want to put a lot more running, especially over the summer, into the videos. I want to put in some bashing. I want to try and find a place to run more road cars, and I want to do like all the really sort of low, need smooth. I'm trying to do a bit of everything, but I want to add a lot more running and a lot more bashing and a lot more dynamic side of it to the channel. I think I need to be a bit more dynamic with it to, you know, make the audience broader as well. But I don't want to just be a bashing person. Or, you know, I like all RC. So I like building things. Then I like to have certain vehicles to drive. And then I like the ones that I bash. So hopefully more and more from that point of view as well. Going down the range, there is a few kits that I like. Some of the WL toy stuff that I kind of like. But I don't want to do just tons and tons of Banggood stuff. There's enough people doing just Banggood channels, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's what, but I want to do a mixture. But really, the lower end stuff I like to get in for context when comparing it to other mainstream stuff from that point of view. So I will have some, like the WL Toys 1/10 that's coming out. I've bought one of those, paid my own money for it, even though I could got a 10% discount code I didn't use because I didn't have it. I didn't say I was that smart. But to see what that's like as well, because I have cars that I don't run, and then I have cars that I run but I don't want to abuse. And then there's a gap in the way I drive my cars, that to have a car I don't care about. that I'll just get out, drive it around. I don't care if it's scratched. I don't care if it gets broken. I just want to drive it, jump it, and then just throw it in the cupboard and not worry about it. And if it breaks, just order the part and fix it cheaply. And some of the WL toys fit that niche, but then I don't want to just drive junk. You know, I don't want to just spend £100 and it's junk and then you just throw it away. So trying to find that kind of balance, and I think some of them have. I am going to get an LC, is it LC Racing buggy on the show. I'm going to buy one to compare it, because that's the one that the people say that the WL toys is based on, and the quality is really good. Prices are a lot more, but I want to get one on to see, is it worth spending the extra, you know, or save your money and just go with that one and get a few extra bits and pieces when you break it. What else have we got? Scott, how is the crawler scene in the UK? I don't really go anywhere that they do any crawling or anything. I mean, crawling for me is really easy because we live in the countryside. So I'm looking out the window at fields. So crawling is the easiest thing for me to do. We've got fields and fields and fields, but going into anywhere, I've never been to any meets or anything like that. I think it's picking up. Is Gareth in the chat? I'm sure he can comment on it. So Paul is asking, any desire to get an infraction or a felony? Yeah, would love to. Absolutely would love to. They are mental cars. Yes, I would love one. But again, budgets. The thing you've got to realize is that my average view on the channel, what did I say? Was it 6,800? I just passed the, what did we just, 16,000 subscribers, and I put out 300 videos and 2.5 million views, and it worked out to be something like 6,800 views is average across the whole of the RCKicks.
Yeah, it's about 8,000.
Was it 8,000? Was it? Or maybe 8,600? Maybe 8,600. So per video, what I make back, 40 quid, 50 quid, maybe. So, you know, you've got to look at it. If I'm going to buy a car that costs 700 quid, that's a lot of videos. And obviously you can't continually do that. So, yeah, so the way that I've kind of done it before is that I have my own private collection that I've been using. But now I've changed over. It's a full-blown business. I now buy in cars and then I sell them on to try and, you know, recoup some money and get them at a reasonable price so I can sell them on, just to keep things moving along. Because believe it or not, everybody that's doing RC is very expensive. If you go and check it out, I mean, Glenn will tell you, I'm sure he spends a fortune. RC Kiwis and Adam, yeah, they were at RC Australia. Everyone spends quite a lot of money to bring these videos out, but yeah. Matthew, please buy shock pliers. No, I'm not buying any. I commented on this. I'm not buying anyone. I'm going to keep using my pliers on them until someone gets so annoyed that they post me a set to the RCKicks PO box, and then I might use them. Do you know, that's probably the highest comment I see on all my videos. You've used pliers on your pistons. Why are you doing that? You're going to destroy them. So now I'm just going to I'm going to do it deliberately. Actually, the last video I did of building, I kept the footage in deliberately. Yeah, there you go, Gareth. Gareth is the person you need to talk to about crawling. He knows his stuff. Also, he's a Trill reseller. Talk to him about crawling. I like the shiny big trucks and I like to drive them in the dirt, and I haven't got a clue what tires I'm using. Yeah, from that point of view. Gareth is going to be he'll comment at the big show. My TRX4 is going to be there. That's got all the cool Trill parts on it. So if you're going to it, I'm sure he'll comment in there what show it is. I can't remember off the top of my head, but if you're going there, you will see the RCKicks TRX4 will be going there as well. Any news or hints on tips for next Schumacher Riri? Schumacher quiet, totally quiet, nothing. I pray they're going to bring out another Riri. It would be a real shame if they've kind of just tied a knot in, that's it, once the XLS is gone and the Top Cat. But if you go and look at their website and look at what they've got out as their range, it is missing a vintage Riri. So hopefully that's the case, but nothing at all. I mean, they've got some real good back catalogs. So I honestly don't know. If anyone has any real contacts at Schumacher, ask them, please, because I'm pretty sure. And when I talk to people online, I think a lot of people were real kind of looking forward to a vintage Schumacher Riri, whichever, Cat 2000 or whatever it is. And some of them are really good. And I would love to get one on the show, but I don't talk to Schumacher directly at all. I buy all my kits. From that point of view, I have no actual connection through the channel to them. But I just really hope that's the case. What else we got? What's this? Would you get an Armor Limitless? Yeah, I'd love one. They are cool. Yeah, I mean, I watch a lot of Kevin Talbot's stuff because he is so lucky. He has so many cool toys. I wouldn't be quite as hard on my stuff as him. I'll tell you what, if I was a manufacturer, I would contact him and say, here, smash this up. I mean, he pushes the limits of what you can achieve with RC. And yeah, he's got some tasty stuff. I'm a big fan. Yeah, he actually doesn't live that far from me. He jumps his cars where my daughter goes to ballet. So yeah, I mean, I don't know him and I've never seen him or anything, but he's doing really well. His channel is rocking it. What's this? Gary says, I need RCKicks woolly hat.
Yeah, we all need one of those at the moment.
Yeah, we all need a woolly hat at the moment. For the people that are not in the UK, we are now going into spring, but yet deep winter. It snowed twice here in the last week. I mean, it didn't settle very much, but to see snow in April, yeah. So it's freezing, absolutely freezing. Just as I was getting the garden back, I did one driving around the track. The weather's gone freezing again. So yeah, woolly hats, merchandise. Yeah, I mean, I've got mugs and stuff. Doing stuff like this, it takes a lot more work because I don't want to sell junk. I want to sell stuff that is actually quality. Because people are paying money for it. I don't want cheap rubbish. So it takes time to research it, to get good stuff in. The only thing I can really vouch for at the moment is the mugs that I've got and the stickers that I've got. They last a long time and the quality's there and things like that. But it's being a one-man band, if you will. I'm selling stuff, buying stuff in, building, running, editing, trying to get the studio up and running up here. That it's a big part that's important, and a lot of people keep asking me about it. But yeah, and I don't really want to use one of those canned companies because you don't have as much control over it and stuff like that. And also I need to hire someone to do some artwork. I've got some good slogans, but I need some nice artwork because if I do it myself, it takes me hours and hours to do the artwork myself. And then I'm never really overly happy with it. So I don't just want to do it for the sake of doing it. I want to do it properly. And it's something that when it's done well, people will be like, oh, I actually like that. I'm not just getting it because it's just to support the channel. That's a cool t-shirt. That's a cool top, So there we go. So if any budding graphic designers out there want to submit any artwork, we need a better, RCKicks needs a better logo. That logo was knocked together a few years ago in about 20 minutes. So if anybody has a really good artistic and wants to do a logo, if it's really good, send it to me, Gavin Evans at rckicks.com. And if it's cool, I will use it.
You've had a couple of people asking about drag racing cars.
Yeah, well,
they're getting popular. They're getting popular in the States.
Yeah. Tom Lee RC just did one on a drag racing one. Yeah, they're pretty cool. I think the limits with those are if you're doing them with other people, it would be a great laugh. But I can't really see it be that brilliant if you're just doing it on your own, unless you're purely doing it for numbers, speed numbers. You know, if you like to tweak cars and then just do run after run to try and improve your time, I could see that side of it. But I think the big, great fun part of that is doing it with friends so that you can race against friends and then tinker and race against friends. But again, yeah, happy to get one on the channel at some point. What's this one? Monkey. Hi, mate. I brought an original Tamiya boomerang in good condition. Spent the last 20 years in a cellar. For 350 euros, I spend more. What's that? I said more for new electronics, tires. Am I an idiot or a good deal? We don't buy most things for investments. I'm not even going to ask. I'm not even going to tell you what I spent restoring my boomerang. There's a video, very early video. It's the first car I ever restored on the channel. Go check it out. It's awful. Not the rebuild. The production quality is shocking, but I think I pretty much replaced everything apart from the chassis. God knows what I spent on it. I was really chuffed with it at the end. It was my first restoration of a vintage buggy, and I bought it, and it was a bit of a wreck when I bought it. It's actually, I don't know if you can see it. It's up here. There it is. There. And I changed. It's Trigger's broom. Pretty much, apart from I kept the chassis. Haven't owned a Super Champ. No. Don't knock the logo. I love it. I'd like to get more American cars on the channel for sure to expand the American side of it as well as doing, you know, ready to runs I'm interested in, as well as building, as well as restoration. I like all of it. It's just mainly keeping the costs down, you know, putting cars on the channel that are like 200, 250 quid, £300. Once you start going 700, 800, starts getting a bit. There was what was it? There was a roller basher, I forget what it's called, just came out not long ago, and that's like 650 quid, and it's just like, oh, you know. And then obviously I've got my vintage collection, which I'm not going to sell. So yeah, hopefully more sponsorships in the future as we grow. You know, as the channel grows and more income comes in, I will invest pretty much most of it back into the channel to grow, to do more content and stuff like that. But of course, if you watch bigger channels that have got that kind of budget and they're making that sort of return per video, you can't compete on that level.
Also, as biggest regret, car you wish you hadn't let go.
I'm pretty sure Rebecca will say Gavin never lets a car go.
You need to sell more of them.
Yeah. I basically maxed out on the amount of cars I've got. So I don't really sell that many. I've started selling the ones that the company buys. When I buy it for the company, I'll keep track of it, and it goes, the way it's going to work is I buy it in, I build it on the show, and then to sell it on to make as little loss as possible. Some cars sell for a bit more because they're built, depending on how hard they are to build. So I need to keep that turnover going. So I don't really sell. Am I missing anything? Not really. Normally, if I sell a car that's like I sold an Avanti 2001, but I had another one. A car I've sold this month that I'm pretty sure I will regret was a new in-box Terra Conqueror. It sold in 5 minutes, and I sold it for 700 quid. But I've put it up a few times, especially on the Patreon. Which one do you want to see me build next? And no one ever picked that car. So I will regret, in one way I regret it, because I wanted to build it on the channel and I wanted to have it built in the collection because it's quite a unique car. I do think we'll probably see it again at some point from Tamiya as a gut feeling, which means I would then buy it and have it as a re-release. But the premium that it was asking for as a new in box, I couldn't really turn it down because I wanted to build it. And if I sold it new in box, I could use that money. That money went into buying these racks, these shelves. If I'd have built it, I would have easily lost half that money. And I don't think the video would have recouped a fraction of that. So with all those things aligned, you know, I don't collect new inbox kits to keep. That's not, you know, I like to build them and have them like this, even if they're really rare. So you obviously you lose a lot of money straight away from that. So I probably will regret that at some point, but then I got to move the studio on, and that's where you got to look for it. So I don't think I've got any major regrets yet. Oh, sorry. The biggest regret I've got, sorry, it just came to me. The biggest regret I've got so far is this. I found out that they were going to discontinue the XLS and the Top Cat, and I made a video on it, and I let everybody know, and you all went out and bought them instantly. And I was like, no, I'm not going to buy them. I'm going to get the upgrades and do an upgrade to the XLS I've got. And now they're all worth a fortune. And I should have bought an XLS new in box. Not so that I can flip it and make a profit, because when I have to do the upgrade to my XLS, I would have rather have sold my built one and then done a new inbox build with all the new parts I've got, purely to save me having to dismantle my XLS. Because I hate working on that car. Absolutely hate working on it. And someone else on the Facebook group did exactly the same as me. They bought all the upgrade parts for it, every single one you can get. And then they posted how much of a nightmare it was stripping it down and rebuilding it. That's why you haven't seen it on the show yet, because I'll need a week to redo that, to strip an XLS down and then rebuild it with every modification you can get. I've got a new body. I've got all the carbon with it, every Schumacher option you can think of. And it's going to be epic. But the idea of having to dismantle it first before rebuilding it, oh, there you go. So there you go. Sorry.
I forgot what I was going to say now. It was another good question.
Would you do a Paddleworth jumping competition? I wouldn't stand a chance. Have you seen Kevin? Kevin did a video on it. He's got this rocket ship thing. The footage is amazing. It's like he jumps it like 30 meters in the sky. This thing just rockets. Oh yeah, yeah. No. That's not really my cup of tea. Rebecca's hobbies. What are your hobbies?
Horse riding.
Horse riding and Fairfax and chocolate, we call it. Which is Fairfax is the clothing boots brand, and chocolate. So we call it Fairfax and chocolate in the house. So that's what it is. But Fairfax and horses, you know, that really cheap hobby. What's this? Gavin, dude, don't forget our passion in this hobby is something our wives struggle with. Unless it's a Porsche. Rebecca, she's partial to a Porsche, a real one, more likely.
I think someone asked that question. What will you buy that's non-RC related when you reach your goals? A car, a hot tub?
Yeah. Rebecca wants a hot tub. And she wants a nice holiday because we've been in lockdown for like ever.
Any holiday would be good.
Any holiday would be good right now. And you want you've always wanted a Porsche, haven't you? Yeah. But the crazy thing is we had the opportunity to buy them before they got insanely expensive. Rebecca bought an Audi TT convertible years ago when they were new, and we did look at getting an old 911, but it wasn't practical because it was her day, and they were the same price.